Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with another thing older Black women should tell younger Black women, but don't: avoid pick-me friends. Now, I've talked a lot about the value that my friends have had in elevating my life. I've talked a lot about how poor friend experiences in the past have led me to one short or long-term ruin or another, and cautioned you against being careless with your circle. But I want to talk to you specifically about pick-me friends. Pick-me is a word or a phrase that I'm just becoming familiar with. A month ago, I had never heard that before. Now I can't unhear it. I saw a video on YouTube. It comes from Solo Soft Life, and the title of the video is "Why You Can't Be Friends with Pick-Me Women." And she talks about how these friends are unreliable. They'll cancel at the last minute, no matter if you've had tickets for weeks. If some man asks them to go out, she says that they're very fake and single-minded, and all they want to talk about is men. And in this wider conversation around the value or the necessity of decentering men if you're going to live well, pick-me friends is a worthwhile topic. So when I saw this, I wanted to kind of give my take on it, and I agree with everything she said. The throwing you over at a moment's notice if a man pops up, trash. This kind of attitude, I've experienced it personally, and honestly, it's why I don't have that many friends. And the friends that I do have, they would never do this. And many of the friends that I have are either married or in relationships. Only one of them is single. The difference is the ones that have men, that's not their only topic of conversation. We talk about business, we talk about elevating, we talk about health, we talk about love. Our conversations and focus absolutely do not center around men. And if you have women in your life, or men, whatever the case may be, whose only focus is finding a love partner, I would urge you to get away from them, because that should not be your only priority in life. That should not be your focus for existing. That should not be the only topic of conversation that you have. And if it is, I think it indicates that there's something wrong with you, and that somebody else is going to be able to see those cracks in your personality, and it's going to lead to less than optimal results. For instance, pick-me's, in my experience, they carry an aura of desperation. It's almost obvious. They'll do anything for a man. When you carry that kind of aura, when you have that kind of energy, you're going to attract predators and bums. You're going to attract men that want to use you, want to abuse you. You're not going to attract the type of man who's like, "Oh, poor thing, let me rescue her." No, you're going to attract the ones that look at you and say, "Oh, this bitch is pathetic. Let me see what I can get out of her." You see what I'm saying? Hanging around with women like that energy is going to rub off on you. If you want to avoid that lower vibrational type conversation and living, you have to be very circumspect about who you spend time around. Like in this video, she talked about how pick-me friends will use you for free therapy. They will want you to always be the wing woman for them when they're going into situations where there's men. They won't even want to try new things or go to new places if their type of man is not likely to be there. Bitches like that will block your blessings. People like that will keep you from experiencing the fullness of life, because being that narrow-minded and focused on hoe shit, it doesn't allow room for anything else. It doesn't allow room for new information. It doesn't allow room for new experience. It doesn't allow room for potential friendships unless it's romantically inclined. Those people are not concerned, and they will repel and rebuff anything that doesn't align with their narrow scope of interest. That's not a life. That's definitely not a life well lived. So I would wholeheartedly encourage you to minimize your contact and interactions with women like that. You don't need to be free therapy. You don't need to be a wing woman. You don't need to be hyper-focused and forced to only talk about men all the time. That's not how you live well. It's simply not. And I think that older Black women don't talk to younger Black women about the need to avoid these types of pick-me friends, because we might be pick-me's. You see what I'm saying? If we do have pick-me friends, many of us in the older guard don't really understand what good friendship means or what it looks like. And so the women that we have, we may have had them around for a while. They maybe have been our friends from back in the day. And so we're not going to necessarily eliminate them just because they have certain attitudes or behaviors that don't necessarily align with the optimal way to live well. But old dogs can in fact learn new tricks. And more importantly, young dogs can learn from the old jogs what tricks that they do not want to be played. If you have pick-me's around you and perhaps you're pretty or you have a nice figure or you have money, they want you around because they're using you essentially as a tool to attract men. Watch out for those bitches. Another thing that you need to consider about women like that is they have a real tendency to be jealous. And women who are jealous of you will hurt you. They'll hurt you in implicit and explicit ways. And life is already hard enough for Black women out here. We don't need any sabotage, especially from somebody who's supposed to be a friend. So watch out for that. Give those people 50 feet. There's no need to have them in your life anyway, because you have to consider what real value do they bring in the grand scheme of things. You always got to look at ROI, long-term, all that. And I know I'm always throwing around business terms and harping on the need to be strategic, but that is how you live well. That is how you enjoy a good life. By eliminating these pick-me friends, that desperate fake energy that they carry, you're more likely to, if men are of interest to you, to find a good one if you eliminate, that kind of pick-me, desperate, pitiful behavior, number one. And then number two, you can focus on bettering yourself holistically and not just one facet of life, which is finding a love partner. That ends my TED Talk for today. But I also wanted y'all to get into this dress. I don't know when I got this dress. I'll just show y'all real quick. Look at her. Okay, look at her. Y'all, I just cut the tags off of her today. I have no idea when I got her, but she's giving. And I'm like, you know what? I really need my ass kicked. Why do I keep finding new shit to wear and the shit has the tags on it? I am my mother's daughter. But that's it for today. I hope y'all come back tomorrow.